This is a fact I think people should really wake up to. We are in a propaganda war with China. We're in an economic war with China. We're in a technology war with China. And hopefully, I hope we don't get there, a military war with China around Taiwan at some point. The country with the best AI is going to win the future of warfare in many ways, propaganda being a big thing. Now, if you put DeepSeek on your phone, it better be a burner. This is my DeepSeek phone. This is my TikTok phone. And this phone thinks I live in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. So I'm taking care of myself. Everybody else should understand what they're doing here. Very risky to put this stuff on your phones.
Yeah, well, I got to call you after the show, Kevin, and figure out how you did that so that I can do it myself. You know, your sentiments about DeepSeek are shared by our Jackie DeAngelis, who used to follow tech stocks for a hedge fund. Here's what she said earlier today.
What they essentially did here was copy technology that was already existing, that we had innovated here in the United States. I want to see how they innovate on their own when AI goes to the next level. You got something new, you got something interesting, put that out and let's see what you can do. You took something existing and you did it cheaper. That's the story of tech. So I don't think it was this huge watershed moment.
In addition, we discovered by running some queries that the information is completely culled, it would seem, by the Chinese government.
It's a propaganda war. I mean, bottom line here, this is the fallout from the TikTok narrative that started a few weeks ago. I mean, we've got to really figure out what the game plan is when we bring apps to the population. We have to decide, because this app itself breaches that act of Congress. If it's scraping data, and if you actually install it, it's going to ask for your email address. In the case of Google Mail, it looks like it's scraping it. So everything you've ever emailed that's sitting on the server domestically is going back to China. That sounds like a breach of the act of Congress. So we're going to get into a bit of a war here, taking these things down if they're breaching the laws that say you can't steal data from American citizens. And the bigger issue, which is going to have to get resolved even on TikTok, is maybe it's time to give data back to users so we don't have all this litigation that's coming from our own country and from other foreign countries and from users and psychologists who care about the mental state of young people. There's a whole lot of stuff that's falling out. And on top of all that, one other derivative, unforeseen consequence, check out that bill that Senator Lindsey Graham's putting out there. He's saying that all of these Chinese companies have a secret golden share that forces them to give data back. And 285 of them are listed on NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange. As far as I know, that's illegal. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on here, and it ain't good.
Kevin O'Leary publicly speaks on Nvidia and why he is still buying the stock even when the market is confused. Recently, Nvidia caught the market's limelight with earnings that not only met, but exceeded Wall Street's expectations. Just when it seemed like Nvidia's meteoric rise couldn't go higher, the tech giant's shares did a surprising tumble, leaving everyone asking, what just happened? The answer, as always, is at the intersection of AI innovation and investor anticipation. Kevin O'Leary urges investors to buy Nvidia now, before it is too late. Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Nvidia's market cap slipping below $3 trillion, fears over tariffs weighing on shares of the company, among other things. Nvidia has lost 10% of its value so far this year. It's still, though, the country's second most valuable company. Joining us for more on the chipmaker, Sasha Stojic, venture partner at Playground Global, a deep tech venture firm. Sasha spent nearly a decade heading up Nvidia's GPU software division. With a run that we've seen, I mean, historic. I can't even mention anything close to it, Sasha. I guess I could come up with something. But should we be surprised that at some point there's, a stock goes through a spell like this with nothing wrong with the fundamentals?
Yeah, I mean, you said it exactly right. Nothing wrong with the fundamentals. I'm sure you all listened to the earnings call, and it was really nothing but good news. The company is executing as well as it could. If there's anything I knew in my 10 years at NVIDIA, I know the team there. It's the world-class team that just delivered yet again 70+% growth in revenue. Yes, it's not 100+%, maybe like the previous quarters or years, but still mind-blowing. And for a $3 trillion company, I just did the quick math in my head as I was listening to you. NVIDIA generates $100 million per employee. That's just crazy. I mean, in market cap, in revenue, it's about 3.8 million. And the closest I could find is Apple at 2.3 million. So all these metrics are just incredible.
So we know that it in terms of the growth that we've seen, the multiple, while high, is probably not unreasonable. But how much air, is there an air pocket? Is there a disconnect between, the stock price and the underlying earnings per share? How much further could it go down? How much further could it go down, you think, Sasha? If people just said, I've made so much money, I'm going to get out.
Okay, I'm not a stock analyst, investment analyst, but what I can say is you can be a trader, you can be an owner in this stock. I am an owner in this stock, obviously. And any dips and spikes, especially short term, are based on sentiment and perception, not necessarily on fundamentals. Yes, there is profit taking. A lot of people made a lot of money in the past few years, so it makes sense to get out. But there is so much upside left. The AI renaissance is just at the beginning, and Nvidia is the driving force behind that renaissance. And we can go through the news and all the announcements about the data centers that are being built. And Nvidia is by far the biggest benefactor, as well as all the other entrants into that space and vendors and suppliers that will spur the economy in that sector.
So it could go down for a lot of reasons. Do you think the tariff news that we're attributing to some of the weakness yesterday, is that legitimate or an excuse?
Tariffs are an excuse and a concern, but right now it's unclear what those tariffs will be, and the specifics are lacking. Hence the uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to probably some people getting out of the stock. But until that's settled, the uncertainty will continue. But I'm also convinced that this administration has the best economic interest of our companies in mind. So I don't think in the long term that will have an impact.
Nvidia, the company synonymous with cutting-edge advancements in AI, finds itself in an intriguing position. Despite topping the fourth quarter earnings projections, investor expectations reached sky-high levels. Sadly, the market responded with shrugged shoulders, dragging Nvidia's shares down by roughly 3%. This hiccup shadows Nvidia's year-to-date performance, a modest decline following an awe-inducing tripling of value in the previous year. But before going on with the video, are you into cryptocurrency? If so, check out our second channel, Investocracy Crypto. We bring you breaking news, expert analysis, and the latest trends in the fast-moving world of digital assets. Whether you're a seasoned crypto investor or just curious about the future of finance, we've got something for you. Click the link in the description to subscribe to Investocracy Crypto now. Don't miss out and stay ahead of the game. Now, let's get back to the video.
There are multiple scaling laws in data centers in how you make everything more efficient. You can make compute more efficient, meaning the hardware, or you can make the software more efficient, meaning, like what DeepSeek did, or you can do both. And this is a case of both happening at the same time, and it's amazing. I happen to, be my background is in software, and my job at Nvidia in those 10 years was to make the software more efficient. We had to ship new software every 4 to 6 weeks, make it 1% better, 2% better, sometimes 10% better. That accumulates over time, and by the end of the year, it's 50 or 100% better. DeepSeek came out with something that was significantly better, and that's nothing but good news. We need more compute to now run more workloads that are now cheaper on an individual basis.
Great. I'm gonna ask AI about whether DeepSeek's good news or bad news for Nvidia. See what they said. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Bank of America's perspicacious analysts placed a confident bet on Nvidia, elevating their target price to $200, heralding it as their top pick on AI dominance. Another wave of analysis crashed in, with Wedbush arguing the absence of major setbacks, yet bracing for fortunes on the horizon. Their steadfast sentiment dressed Nvidia in an outperform rating and a stable price target of $175, setting the stage for Nvidia's annual GPU Technology Conference in March. It's an event poised to showcase what follows the Blackwell chip legacy, as CEO Jensen Huang teased exciting things to come during an emphatic earnings call. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
So I bought more, 27 times forward earnings, a company that looks easily like it will grow earnings per share 50% this year. Look, we all know at some point that earnings growth rate is going to continue to drop off, but for right now, you put those two numbers together, it tells me it's a buy. I can't really explain why it was down 8%. If somebody's going to say it's the gross margin projections, fine, but that's something that I think is absolutely trivial when you've got a triple beat and a company that still is the leader in the semiconductor for AI space. So I am happily adding to it. I do want to make a qualification here. I hate making a qualification, but I've got to. The market is heavy, notwithstanding today's green tape. I mean, we can just look at the market action. It's been about 2 weeks, maybe a little less than that since we topped out. Maybe we're in a correction. I doubt we're going to get a full correction, but I think if we do, it's going to be like last August, which was over in a month.
We've gotten a correction
in the NASDAQ.
and more in the NASDAQ and, well, in the mega cap names.
Yeah.
I mean, Nvidia is off 21% from its record high of January the 7th. Alphabet's down 18% from its record high of February 4th. Microsoft down 16% from its high last July. Amazon, Meta, and Apple are all down significantly from their own record highs.
As Nvidia navigates the market's capricious currents, its future dazzles with prospect and promise. Nvidia's trajectory, fortified by insatiable demand and robust alliances with tech titans, suggests that its momentary descent is just a strategic breath before another leap skyward. But what do you think? Share your thoughts. Finally, if you would like to know what companies like Nvidia have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.